All right, Miss. Is it Mary? Is it Fernando? Fernando? Bendino? I'm sorry, Bendino. Come on. You still want to speak?
Yes, sir.
All right, come on up. And then is it Sansino? Sam?
Peter Santino. Would you want to speak?
We're probably not going to do that.
He's directly impacted by
I
this.
understand, but he's a child, and we're not going to do that.
Children are directly impacted.
Ma'am, if you want to speak, you can.
Please let me speak.
Okay, we're not going to do that.
But sir,
We're not going to do that, young man. Okay. All right.
sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Thank you, Representative.
He's very well spoken. I can.
Yes, he is. He's very well mannered and nice looking young man.
I wish he'd cut his hair.
I have that same problem with my son.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to
Sure.
speak. My name is Mary Wanda Fondino, and I'm speaking today as a private citizen. As you can see, I'm a parent, as you know, I think most of us are here, and we all have a vested interest in the welfare of our children. And I think, you know, we're all coming from a good place. However, as a teacher in the Jefferson Parish Public School System, I have to say that this particular bill is misguided. If you're familiar with the school environment, you'll understand that if you take this to its logical conclusion, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know, having the gun in a locked cabinet, the intruder comes in, the time it takes to get the gun out, and, you know, the teacher's going to run down the hall. I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And even if the teacher is trained, and there's been a lot of discussion about that, like Representative Cruz, you brought that up as well, the training of the teachers, and that there is good training out there available, and I'm sure that there is. But to me, it seems almost like an insult, frankly, to, you know, our professional members of the armed services and professional members of the police force, to think that teachers who take a training, however good the training may be, once a year and get updated once a year, that they are going to be equal to a current member of the armed services who has excellent training and is getting training on an ongoing basis, you know, as an active member of the military, or a member of the police force who also is actively being trained and keeping their skill level up. Because those of you who are members of the military and have seen, you know, this kind of situation where you've been under fire, you've been under extreme stress and duress, you know, the adrenaline starts to flow. It's very, very difficult to overcome the physiological response that you have as a human being. And you're trained to do that in the military. And you're trained to do that as a police officer, as a professional police officer. And I think it's really unreasonable to expect an individual, a private citizen, to be able to operate at that level of response, staying calm, cool under fire, able to take aim, and able to respond. It's simply unreasonable. The last thing that I would like to say, as a private citizen, and you know, one thing I wanted to say earlier is, I want you all to know that I'm a Republican. Okay? I'm a Republican, and I have been a lifelong Republican. And I'm sitting here as a Republican saying to all of you, please put aside the partisanship, deal with the facts. We all have our opinions. Deal with the facts. Because you are dealing with the lives of the citizens of Louisiana. And that is not a partisan issue. I have to say, and as a teacher, you know, I deal in facts, teaching my students. And I've been somewhat disappointed because there's been a lot of information bandied about that is not factual, or it's questionable. I mean, there have been, in a quick Google search, there have been 5 incidences, you know, and they've been mentioned by others, 5 incidences at least, since the Parkland shooting, of unintended shootings in schools by trained teachers and even by resource officers who presumably have an even higher level of training than the teachers who've been trained. Right? One incident where a teacher thought mistakenly that there was an intruder, and per his training was preparing to go out and meet the intruder. But he was overcome physiologically, and he even admitted his hand was shaking, and he wound up shooting his gun before he could even get it out properly. I mean, and that's not a laughing matter. That's a human response under extreme duress. At least 5, including Alabama, which, as I understood, this bill is modeled after to some degree. So, just in conclusion, I look out to all of you as parents, as grandparents, as husbands and wives. We all know somebody in the school system, right? Please put aside your partisanship. Please look at the facts. They're out there. There are 2 sides to this equation. One side is being addressed by this bill, I think, erroneously. The other side is get these guns out of the hands of people who should not have them.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much for your time.
Thank you for coming to the Capitol.